Let's first check what's happening here.
Okay, I see it on the X. It's a live stream on X now.
Let's see. Oh yeah, but oh yeah, okay, awesome.
It's on YouTube as well.
Yeah, awesome, great. So hey, sorry guys, we're doing this software for the first time, so it's working. That's great. And so we have our man here, Tatum, who's leaving us, who spent such a productive time in campus mining, and going to like hear all about your story today. I guess, Tatum, let's start with where it all started. Like, how did your parents meet?
We're going back that show car camps, if you're curious. And something happened between then and now, and here I am in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I'll be completely real. I did not. Compass was my first intro into mining. I did not want to do Bitcoin mining because I didn't know about it, and I got I was in Pomp's Crypto Academy whenever I left my traditional finance job. There was like a 4-month unemployment period there because I was just done with traditional finance and wanted to work in Bitcoin. And Cameron Morrissey was actually in my cohort, and he hit me up afterward and was like, "Hey man, there's this job opening up at Compass. I just got a job and think you might be good at it." And I was like, nah. And weeks went by and he's like, "Hey, you want to apply?" And I was like, maybe. And then I was like, okay, I'm poor.
Like, why were you rejecting the idea? Like, was there anything that
I just I wanted to do something with, like, I have a background in finance, and so I wanted to do something on the financial side. I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do, but something on the like Bitcoin for small businesses, stuff like that. But that wasn't really like established, really. There wasn't really like a position that I was like aiming for, but I was like, I don't know about mining. I don't want to do that. But luckily, I finally did it, and now I don't want to do anything but mining. So I'm forever grateful for Cameron keeping the hammer down and trying to get me to apply, because here I am now.
When was the exact moment when you got orange pilled?
There wasn't an exact moment. There was like a string of moments. It kind of started like in 2017 was the first time that I had heard about Bitcoin. My first Google search, I remember, was what's the stock price of Bitcoin. I would punch myself if I could go back in time, but I mean that's how everyone starts learning. And back then, like, there wasn't any major, the educational resources weren't great in 17. All of the stuff that I was finding, maybe I wasn't looking hard enough, but it was just way over my head. And I was like, this seems interesting, but okay, whatever. The number keeps going higher. And so I think Bitcoin was about like $9,000 at that point. I put in $10 or something like that. I forgot about it. A couple weeks later, I remembered it, and I was in college and wanted beer. And so I sold it on Robinhood for like $13 or something, and then never looked back. One of the worst financial decisions I've ever made. But then it started around 2020 was whenever I was in my senior year, and I was getting certified on a Bloomberg terminal. And what really started hitting was whenever I was looking at the different currencies and seeing the numbers are going up and down and changing, and some are way larger than the other ones. And I just kept asking my professor all these questions like, why is this? Why is this? Why is this? And the answer was always, that's just the way it is. And I was like, that's not an answer. Um, Somehow that led into, I can't remember if it was a tweet that I saw or it was around the time of COVID. I remember that whenever everything started going crazy in the stock market. Um, and I was like, okay, I need to do a little more research into this, and figured out it was the answer to all those questions that I had, essentially, or it was a result of the actual answers to those questions. And then I was like, okay, I want to be a part of this. And then the other cryptos came in, and I was like, you know what? I want to make some more money really quick. And that was the second worst financial decision I've ever made. I started trading. I They should have never given me 100x leverage. That was dumb. I should have never been playing with that. I saw some really high highs, but I saw some really low lows.
Mhm.
Um, but you get burned enough and realize, like, I I was the kid who kept touching that hot stove. And one day I was like, you know what? Maybe if I stop touching that stove, I won't hurt my hand. And then it just became more and more maximalism from there on. And I mean, it was part of my story. I'm never going to say, oh, yeah, I've never, been around the altcoin trading, meme coin gambling stuff. Like, no, that was part of my learning journey. I was flipping NFTs too. And I never felt any, I never felt any positive feelings from doing that. And now I realize it's a lot less stress if you just stay humble and stack sats. And the any other altcoins that come out, they're either specifically for gambling or they're solving problems that they're presenting solutions to problems that don't exist. And now I'm, in the trenches of mining. You got people in the Solana trenches and stuff. I'm in the mining facility trenches, and I'm very happy with where I am.
Awesome. I think that's only natural, right? You got to like fall into some of the other like puddles or
As long as you're failing forward, then
yeah,
it's good.
exactly, for sure. So Tatum, I'm not sure like how are we going to get people like, to make this thing interactive? I don't know if people can like submit questions or
Yeah, I have the chats pulled up for YouTube and X. So if anyone's watching, feel free to
oh yeah.
drop some questions in, and I'll repost this real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah, this segment is for like roasting you. Like we wanted to get some, anybody who got stories to share or things you want to ask Tatum, please comment on either YouTube or X. Um, so all right, so like talk a little bit about your time in campus mining. Like you've learned so much. Maybe like share some memorable stories.
I have a lot.
Where to start?
It is a big question. Because I mean, well, I started behind a computer, and I was a customer success agent at the time. It was called Mining Concierge, and I was remote, just doing support tickets. And what really got me, like, kicked me in the rear wanting to do operations was there was one time, it was right whenever we were setting up the Denver Service Center in, I think, around 2022. Um, all of the operations guys that were in Denver went to Colorado Springs to get certified for some repair stuff. And our chief mining officer at the time, it was him and I can't remember who else. It was one other person was trying to basically set up a warehouse. And I was like, hey, if y'all ever need any help and I can, come up there, you would have thought that I just offered like a $2 trillion loan, zero interest, pay it back whenever, because like his eyes just like lit up and he was like, you want to come to Denver for a week? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And luckily my boss at the time was like, yeah, you can go do that. And I was like, oh, I want to do this a lot. Granted, at the time, like I was primarily just moving stuff around and organizing. But while I was there, I was taught how to test machines, and I was putting up numbers like that they hadn't seen yet because I didn't know either. But this was really fun for me, and so from that point, I think was when I kind of expressed it was a weird like transitional phase because like I wanted to be on both sides of it. And I wanted to, uh, I also had people on either side of the departments wanting me to be there as well. And um, finally, they let me transition departments. And I'm forever grateful for my CSA family. Uh, they're the reason that I'm here, and I still am very close with all of them. But I realized like I didn't want to do, I didn't want to answer tickets the whole time. I wanted to like be out there, and so I came to Denver and helped build out the warehouse up until the point now where I mean we transitioned warehouses, upgraded 10x square footage, and we've got 3 test benches now where originally it was 2 test benches that could do 8 machines at a time, and now we have 3 that can do 50 at a time each. And
That
yeah,
was that was a growth like from when you got to Denver Service Center until now. Like we're just talking about the growth that happened in a matter of like 2 years or 3
Yeah,
years.
it was literally about 2 years, basically, with less than 2 years, because I moved to Denver in August of 23, and then I can't remember the transition into the new warehouse was a really long, drawn out transition, but I mean, it was about a year. We upgraded extensively. It was a lot of work, but I it was super fun. It was challenging, but like I made a lot of memories doing it.
Wait, how small was the old
It's like 4,000 square
facility?
feet. It was nothing. Like you could barely move around in it. And we were like, "Hey guys, we need some new space." And then we found this warehouse, and we Hobbyist Miner did a tour video of it. So anyone wanting to look at that, go check out the Hobbyist Miner, and you got to see my pretty face a little bit, talk about the miners and what the process looks like. And yeah, things, I was involved directly in the systems of how things come in, go out. And um, it, I, I had my hands on a lot, and it feels really weird kind of leaving now, but I'm excited and confident that it's in good hands.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you were part of the team that, like you say, 10x the center. I think that's like a showcase funny in terms of the type of growth we have been able to achieve and also are continuing to drive. Excellent story there. How about like perspective like career growth? You know, you got in as the one of our customer success team, and then I think has this culture where we're very accommodative to employees. Your own inspirations, where in terms of your own career growth, and worked out really well for you.
Yeah, it even after I had moved over to operations, even within operations, I was given several different roles. I started out just being a technician, a repair technician here, and then I ended up going into. I went to the field deployment technicians, where I was on the field most of the time, traveling just about every other week until I told them I didn't want to anymore. And then I'm finishing out in as a large scale project lead. So I've been able to see a bunch of different clients come in, large scale enterprise clients down to our retail clients. It's been crazy because I've basically just expressed interest, and it they've worked with me to see, hey, where can we put you to maximize what you want to do and your value and efficiency within the company. And that there's the culture, especially in Denver. We pride ourselves on cross training everywhere because some person that might be hired on as a just a regular warehouse technician where they might be doing mundane cleaning task or something like that. Maybe they want to go over to the test bench and, we put them on the test bench for a couple of days and, oh, they're way better at the test bench than they are cleaners. Even vice versa. Maybe, we hire someone on as a test bench tech and they enjoy and are more efficient as a cleaner. It's really just where you fit in. None of the people who were hired on here kept that same title. It, I say none, but a very, very few people.
That's great. I share with you the kind of like, campus mining culture in terms of giving people the space, the flexibility to grow. And, if you are really dedicated to your work and doing a good job, the growth potential is limitless, really. So now we're going to
Absolutely.
do like a fast rapid fire round, like Q&As, okay? Short answers. Are you ready for this?
Let's go.
Okay. Best campus mining memory.
Ah, this is hard to rapid fire. Probably my first big deployment in which I would consider Iowa 4. That was freezing cold and very memorable. Lots of people there, and we got stuff done.
Awesome. Worst smell in the mining facility.
There's two answers I want to say. One is a dead animal. Sometimes you will catch a dead rodent in the fans. RIP. Other, electrical burn. If you smell that, panic mode induces.
Electrical burn. What does that smell like?
It it's hard to describe it. It's kind of like a maybe a plasticky smell. It's very pungent, and if you smell it, that means that something is happening that should not be happening, and you need to shut everything down and figure out where that is.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Most cursed firmware update.
Oh man, I gotta be careful with what I say here. A lot of the stock that Bitmain sends. No, there's not. I wouldn't say too many are cursed, but there are some that add features or take away features, especially in the stock firmwares that you kind of get used to. Anytime there's a big update firmware, there's a learning curve. So I'll say that none are cursed, but some are not cursed as others. Maybe we'll keep that. We'll keep it that way.
Okay. Favorite campus mining tweet you didn't write?
Ooh. There's a lot the Lucy videos. I love Lucy videos.
Ooh,
The
yay.
Forrester's big old dog. Love that dog. She's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, absolutely. If your heart rate were a person, who would it be?
Michael Saylor, because the number keeps going up. I think. I know that's a basic answer, but I
Yeah,
mean
no, I love it.
that's what it is.
Love it. Bitcoin prices on December 31st, 2025.
Where are we right now? What, like 107-ish or something?
Yeah, we had a bad day today.
I wishfully 200, but realistically 150.
Okay. You're an optimist.
I am an
Love
optimist.
that. Okay, so total hash rate at the end of 2025.
Oh man, this one's near and dear to my heart because I had the Zeta hash prediction last year. I think that we'll hit sustainably, steadily 1.2 to 1.3 Zeta hash by the end of the year.
How about 2026?
Oh gosh. There's no telling what's coming out next year either. I would love to say 2 zettahash, but I think that's very out of reach. I think realistically, if the landscape stays where it is, I think at the end of the year next year, we might see 1.6, 1.7 zettahash.
Okay. The chance of proto-rig taking over the mining hardware space.
Large possibility, but it's not going to be an easy road. I think it's going to be an uphill battle because you have a lot of the big players who have a lot longer of a runway behind them. But it's definitely a possibility. They are introducing a whole new idea, and if it works out perfectly, then I think by the next halving we might see them competing with current manufacturers, MicroBT, Canaan, Bitmain, you name it.
Hash price prediction. So this question from Kobe, I guess you can give predictions by 2 time stamps. End of this year, end of next year. I don't know, however you want to do it.
What is hash price right now? Let's see. Oh, yikes. 43 petahash. Man, hash price is a prediction that I'm not confident in, but I would like to say, end of the year, we might spike back up into the 50s, maybe $55 a petahash. Next year, I have no idea. I'll say 65. Hold me to it.
Okay, here to
just full disclosure, I'm not good at hash price predictions. Do not take anything that I say that seriously.
Not financial advice for sure.
Not financial advice.
Okay, so like Tatum, you are also an internet celebrity. Okay, you interviewed so many big figures in the mining space. Most memorable interview you've had?
I'd have to say Jack Dorsey. Doing that in the jungle of Costa Rica was awesome.
Cool. And worst interview you've had?
I haven't answered. I don't want to say it, but I'll say this person, we filmed it, and I was very early in the morning after a night out at a conference, and this person did not fully understand my show. And so the combination of those two things made it extremely uncomfortable. And I don't think that I will ever release that. Nothing against that person, but I'll leave it at that. I still get I cringe thinking about it, and everyone always says hey, the few people who do know who it is are like, hey, you need to release it. I'm like, no shot. Maybe one day. Maybe I'll put it behind a paywall or something.
I know. Now you say that, everybody wants to see it.
Well, I'll put it behind a paywall.
Okay, that's a way to do it for sure. All right, so one more call of questions and comments, and best wishes from people who are watching this on YouTube and X. Your last chance, okay? So I mean, not last chance. We're open for questions always.
Yeah, I'm gone after this, guys. I'm wiped off the face of the planet. You can never ask me another question again.
Yes, that urgency. Okay, so I think that's pretty much the rapid fire round of questions we have. We can open to anything you want to share, Tatum. Now, you want to do your farewell speech?
I was thinking about that, and honestly, I couldn't even come up with a good speech, but I do have a cool miner I'd like to show off, if that's cool.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, this is so I collect old miners. Why? I don't know. I just find old technology cool, and these are pieces of history. And this is an Antminer R4 from 2017. It was supposed to be the silent heater, basically. From my view, they walked so Kanan's new space heater miner could run. The technology I just don't think was there for them to fully make this work. I didn't even know that this existed until fairly recently, but it's only got 2 hash boards in it. It's got a long style fan right there. And I don't remember the exact hash rate. I had it written down somewhere, but it's not much. But one thing that I'd like to share is like, if you are interested in this technology, go buy a miner. I'm not saying to buy, the newest S21 XP right when it comes out or something like that. Like, go to eBay and find uh something that's just used. Like, my first miner I actually held was an S7. And that was because I needed um a couple of miners for my show. I just wanted prop pieces, so I wasn't going to spend, $10,000 on 2 brand new machines or something. Like, I just needed scrap, and I found 2 S7s on eBay, which are 4 terahash, and they were like, it was like $40, and the guy's like, "Hey, I have a third one. If you want to send me an extra $20." I was like, "No, it's okay, just the 2." And he goes, "All right, I'll throw the third one in too." I was like, okay. But that was the first time I was like, let me see what this is like to like plug it in and stuff. And I took it apart and just started tinkering around with it. And that's how I fell in love with it, honestly. So I always say, get your hands on some sort of ASIC miner and learn about it. Just play with it, fail forward. You can look up all sorts of stuff online, especially older ones. You can look up full breakdowns of all the boards and stuff on bitcointalk.org. And sometimes you might find some gold, the R4, like that's super sick just to have. And there's also some crazy machines that you probably didn't know existed, like with the S1. Those started out with clear siding, or there wasn't really anything on the sides. You could see the hash boards on the outside. And they're really cool, like showpieces. But my advice to everyone is to just get your hands on some piece of mining hardware and just tinker around with it, because it very well could change your life like it did mine.
Awesome advice. Super great. Thank you. I think like the questions we've addressed some of the questions in comments, and we have more people watching on X. Right. So question, Tatum, about AI eating Bitcoin mining. Like, what good thoughts over like on this topic?
I don't think that I think that a lot of companies that are Bitcoin mining companies are going to, it's almost inevitable that they're going to pivot into AI infrastructure in some degree, not necessarily completely, because a lot of these companies who are mining, like, they already have like an established revenue for that. But there is opportunity in the similarities that infrastructure of Bitcoin mining facilities and AI data centers, there's a lot of similarity to that. And I think that there is going to be some split between the types of companies. But I also think that we might see the inverse of that as well, where you have these AI companies who have massive data centers. Granted, AI is the hottest thing right now over Bitcoin mining. So, OpenAI is not going to be like, you know what, maybe we should mine Bitcoin. But there are other companies that have AI specific data centers that might pivot into Bitcoin mining as a different type of revenue, especially if, there are there are many benefits to it. It's similar and different in a way. Like, it's hard to explain it. Like, for instance, AI data centers, there are environmental concerns similar to Bitcoin mining facilities. but they are slightly different. AI environmental concerns are a little more, they're a little more valid than some of the Bitcoin ones. So I think that that might show an incentive for some AI companies to maybe pivot over there a little bit to maybe cut their environmental impact or something like that. This is all just complete hypothetical and random thoughts that I have had. I don't know the logistics of it, but I think that it's going to be a brother sister industry for sure, and we're going to see a lot of commingling between the two.
Yeah, and I think we shared on X last week about this AI facility, and we asked people to spot the differences between a Bitcoin mining facility versus an AI facility. Like, what do you see the major differences are?
Well, a lot of Bitcoin mining facilities, they're more hands-on as far as the machines go. Um, and I can't speak too much into AI data centers because I haven't been boots on the ground, but I've done a little research into how they operate. But for the most part, with Bitcoin mining facilities, like you're pulling these machines in and out of the racks like every single day. There's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot also, for what I've seen, and this could just be optics because I've seen beautiful and disgusting Bitcoin mining facilities online. I've only seen gorgeous AI data
Yes,
centers.
for
Um,
sure.
so it might just be their optics, but it seems like there's a lot more chaos that goes into Bitcoin mining facilities. And I'd like to be, boots on the ground for one of these AI data centers and see how that compares.
Mhm.
But yeah, there are major differences just from what I've seen online, but I think that there's going to have to be some sort of compromise to find similarities between the two so they can commingle a little easier. Because right now you can't say like, oh yeah, I have an AI data center, let's throw a few miners in there, or oh, I have a Bitcoin mining facility, let's just throw a few GPUs in there. They're kind of dedicated at the time. So I think that there will be some sort of hybrid model that comes out. I hope that that comes very soon so we can like figure out how to optimize both sides of it. But it's something AI is like I'm very excited and nervous about AI because there's a lot that goes into it based on like what I already know about large scale data centers.
Mhm. Well, no matter what, we know that you're going to be on the forefront on, on AI slash Bitcoin mining, and we really hope that we still get to talk to you, after you even um, start your next chapter. But lastly, so I guess lastly, let's share a little bit about working in Compass Mining and what is it like? What is the culture like? Um, maybe just share some from your personal experience. um tell people who don't work at this company, like, what is it like to be working here, and what do you like about Compass Mining's culture, and how the people are, like, treating each other here in Compass Mining.
Well, aside from the fact that I've like become the Compass punching bag also, but that's just within ops. But no, hey, honestly, like one of the biggest gripes that I've had with leaving Compass is leaving Compass because it's that's also something that I've done myself, like that I kind of regret is like making some of my best friends here. But it's kind of
Mhm.
hard not to when we all have share very common interest.
Yeah.
And it's I told myself like professionalism, these are work friends, not personal friends. That got thrown away so quick. And I don't care, honestly. Like it's been great. And I have a lot of these relationships that I'm going to carry over into my next chapter. And I'm going to stay in touch with, like, some of these people are some of my best friends in the entire world. Ops trips. I freaking love ops trips. Like it, I, I don't I don't always like using this term, but it's like when we get an Airbnb for a deployment or something, it feels kind of like a fraternity house where it's just a bunch of guys that are like hanging out, late into the night, wake each other up at 5 in the morning to get ready to go an hour down the road, a dirt road or something like that, and then we gripe while we're doing work, but then we talk about it at a big dinner, and then we go and just do it all over again. Like, I'm gonna miss those ops trips a lot. Yeah.
You just to make sure that on those trips you're not talking about how each of you are feeling, like your emotions and
Yeah, no, none of that stuff. No, it's all work. No, we have fun though. We really do. Like, I for one of them, I brought my. I knew we were going to be out there for extended period of time, and I brought my DJ decks, and I just we we just messed around on those for a little while, and we'd watch. Like, when we get home, like sometimes we're spending all day outside basically, if we're in a container site and the sun is just beating down on us, and we just get home and or to the Airbnb, and we just will binge like a series or something like that, or watch a movie, and then you know dip to the next day. And uh yeah, it's the coolest thing about op strips too is that no matter what, the mission is always going to be different, and whatever it is, the system that we use builds itself real time, and I really love that. Like, it could be hand bombing miners into a container from a pallet outside, or restacking a pallet and moving it around for a truck or something like that. It's like we all are almost on the same wavelength, like figuring out, hey, what's the optimal way to do this, and it's really fun to watch that real time.
and you got to learn so much, right? Because like recently we had our first flared gas site, and then you got to learn like a whole new world of different kinds of energy source, and how did that and Bitcoin mining work together.
Yeah, that was really cool to see. I personally hadn't seen the flare on. I've only seen pictures of it, and it looks really cool. But just learning about how the operation and our uptime and our utilization there is going to differ from any other facility that we have because of the nature of the power source. Like, sometimes, like, we had pressure issues where we weren't getting as much as we thought we were, which I think that was just a normal thing as we were getting started. But um, I had no idea that that would affect how much Bitcoin was going to be mined. It's very interesting, and we learned, like, there's so much different safety stuff when you go on a nat gas site too. Like, we have to wear fire retardant gear. We had to have gas meters and stuff like that, and it was just a really cool learning experience, and that goes for any other experience I've had. I've been in several different types of containers, buildings. I've driven skid steers and telehandlers, and it's the amount of stuff that I've learned is insane.
Yeah. And like to think about in the future, we're going to potentially use nuclear power, even fusion power. Like, those stuff are so cool. And think about like you're going to actually be on the forefront on those. It's just like so exciting and so fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Compass launch Mars One facility. That's going to be really exciting.
Yeah. Hoping for that day. So I think we're going to probably wrap. And sorry if my mic has been on and in and out. So if my mic and my voice hasn't been good, apologize. But as long as you can hear Tatum clearly and heard all that awesome story that Tatum shared with us, that's what matters for this stream. And last words before we close, Tatum. Definitely want to
Uh, always be learning. You're never done learning. Even if you think that you're the smartest person in your industry, in the world, in the room, never stop learning. Um, and also, don't be afraid to fail forward, because that is the single reason that I am where I am today, and I couldn't be happier.
Great. Bravo. So, like, Tatum, I only worked with you for like 5, 6 months, but I really enjoyed the time, we did that podcast. Definitely hope we can, keep talking in the future. And best wishes, Tatum. I'm sure you're going to do so many awesome things going forward. And we love to see it, and we're always cheering for you, Campus Mining.
Thank you so much for having me. And yes, I've loved being a part of your Compass journey as well. And I'm glad that our paths overlapped at least a little bit.
Awesome. So thank you everybody for watching over and on X and also YouTube. So final cheers, and then we'll see you next.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Bye.